Zach and I met in 2006 and got married in 2009. We had kids first, Cole and Cody.
Before that, I had Kane and Karlie. I was married to their mother, Lindsay, and we separated when Karlie was 3, Kane was 7. Right around the time that Melissa and I got married, Kane and Karlie came to live with us full time.
So we have Kane, Karlie, Cole, and Cody.
I remember them laughing and playing together. Karlie was just happy. She liked being at home, hanging out with us. It was good to have a family. We'd found our purpose in life.
We were super busy between sports and school and holidays, birthdays.
Even though Melissa was their stepmother, she really loved Karlie and Kane like they were her own.
We were pretty close. In middle school, she started drill team. I took her out of town for all of her cheer competitions. But she also loved her friends. She always had like one best friend at a time, hanging out and coming over, spending the night, and her going to their houses. Typical teenage girl stuff.
I said, okay, can I ask you about Zach's behavior and temper? I know he had that DV felony for inflicting corporal injury to a spouse. Yeah, so when I saw that first come out, I texted Melissa right away and said, what the heck is this? Is this true? Like, what's going on here? And hold on one second. I'm actually going to go look at that message and see exactly what she wrote back to me. I said, okay. She said, okay, so I messaged her because I saw that someone posted his arrest info on one of the Finding Karlie Facebook groups. And she said, I'm reporting the post now because it's false news and I don't need it all over social media. And then she said, but I will tell you the truth. He was arrested, but he didn't beat me or anything like that. Then I said, people are writing in the comments that he broke your shoulder and that there were even guns involved. Okay, now I'm going to read this part to you because there was something at the end that she didn't want me to share publicly, and it was just Melissa getting mad at commenters and, you know, being angry and going off on them, basically. So let me just read this one. Okay. Then she replied, broken bones? Geez, I don't need this in my life right now. Then I wrote to her, I'm so sorry you all have to deal with this. I don't understand why they make these groups acting like they're trying to help find Karlie when they're just bringing drama and doing the opposite of helping. Then she responded pretty upset with some commenters, so I will skip that part. At that point, after being called a murderer and all kinds of horrible things that you can be called when your child is missing. All right, so now let me share this one. I did hear the part of the 911 call. This is me telling her. I did hear the part of the 911 call where either the dispatcher or the cop who was there say she had a possible broken shoulder. So that is probably where everyone else got it from as well. And then I said, so she said he was arrested, but that he didn't beat her. That seems a little odd. Okay, so she never told you about how he was or things he did as far as being aggressive or anything. And then she said, but as far as I know, Zach wasn't physically abusive or even verbally. They got into normal family fights, being in a blended family.
Mono 1, Chalfant fireman at 5. If you could respond to Highway 6, it's going to be south of White Mountain Estates Road. It's going to be a white Toyota Camry, 3 occupants. Mother has a possible broken shoulder. Copy that. South of White Mountain Estates Road on Highway 6. Apron. Ten-4. 807-10-4. And do you have status on the children?
They are with the mother in the ambulance.
I had to go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, wash my face. She was by my side the whole time. She didn't want to leave my side. Melissa can say anything she wants about Karlie going missing, and in her open statement, she chose to talk about how she had to go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, wash my face. Out of the thousands of words and thoughts, she chose these. This is something we all do, so why is it flagged? It's not that this is unusual behavior. It's that Melissa chose to include this in her statement about her missing stepdaughter. This is unnecessary information, thus has increased significance. During the free editing process in a subject statement, there is a strong link between water and sexual abuse. There is a need to cleanse oneself to wash away the guilt. It is difficult to tell if Melissa's mentioning of washing her face is in regards to her own personal history of possible sexual abuse or sexual abuse of Karlie. This would be a point that if Melissa were questioned would need to be explored. Why did Melissa only speak of washing her face and not her hands, especially considering she had to go to the bathroom? One needs to also consider that if Karlie sustained a head injury, Melissa may be leaking this information out by talking about washing her face. Melissa states she didn't want to leave my side, indicating sensitivity and withheld information about what happened to Karlie while she was by Melissa's side. Her brain is not moving forward and is stuck back at the time Karlie was by my side. Also note, Melissa states what Karlie didn't want, with the negation making what Karlie wanted important to Melissa. She states this, yet does not give Karlie a voice. She's speaking for her. Melissa does not tell her audience how Karlie communicated what she didn't want to her. I also want to go back and touch on brushing teeth and what that potentially means in an open statement. So not only she's mentioning water with washing and going to the bathroom, but she's also specifically mentioned brushing her teeth. And acts of personal hygiene, such as brushing teeth, is rarely mentioned in an open statement. In fact, less than 10% of statements contain information about the subject brushing their teeth. And, everybody does this, or at least hopefully. So the question needs to be, why did she feel the need to include this in her statement? Why was this important information for her to convey to her audience? But when someone mentions the act of brushing their teeth, that typically indicates they are hiding information of a personal nature, specifically domestic violence. And the psychology behind this principle is pretty simple. When someone is in a domestically violent relationship, the abused person lives with the threat of abuse daily. It's not that they're abused daily, although they may be, but it's the mere threat of it that typically controls the victim. The threat of abuse is all that's needed for the abusive partner to take control. And when the abused partner goes into the bathroom and locks the door to brush her teeth, she has a moment of peace and safety, free from the threat of harm. Was Melissa taking refuge in the bathroom with Karlie from someone else in the household? It's not a far stretch to assume that Melissa's safe place in the household is her bathroom, which is evidenced by her videotaping most of her Facebook Lives in her bathroom.
She was very paranoid the whole drive home. She was screaming at me at one point to slow down because I was driving too fast and that the car was going to kill her.
Melissa, do you want to take a shower? Think that'll make you feel better? No? You're gonna kill me. Karlie, listen to what you just said to me. What? You said you're going to kill me. Don't kill me.
She was just standing in the corner, afraid of not being safe.
Did she say that?
Yeah, she felt like she wasn't safe.
Oh, okay, well now I'm hearing something after many questions. She said she was afraid. What was she afraid of?
I really wish I knew.
So when she said, "Dad, I'm afraid," you didn't say, "Well, why are you afraid? What are you afraid of?"
Yeah, I did. I asked her several times, and she said, "I don't know."
Melissa, what do you recall? What was she saying? I'm trying to figure this out so I can figure out what may have happened to her. What was she afraid of? Because to me, the fact that she's telling you guys she's afraid and then she goes missing can't be separated. That's important, Melissa. What was she saying she was afraid of?
She kept saying, "I don't know." I said, "What are you afraid of? You're home. We're safe."
She called you to be picked up. She was not in a calm state of mind at that point, right?
No, she was scared when she called me, and she didn't want me to hang up the phone.
Okay, and what was she scared of in your best estimation? Because she didn't say, "I'm scared of A, B, or C."
No.
She was just kind of paranoid, right?
She was paranoid and scared, and when we asked her, "What are you scared of?" she said, "I don't know."
She was paranoid. She was like felt scared of us, but then she would turn to, "I love you." It'd be like, "You're scaring me." And then all of a sudden it'd be, "I love you guys." I've never seen behavior like this from her before. Something was scaring the hell out of her.